Hello, Speed Gaming. You are here. You have watched us for weeks. It is now time for the Grand Finals. Charlieboy, Casual Tom, best of 5. Gotta take 3. Winner takes all. Joining me today, well tonight, or today wherever you're at in the world, we have L-Level Creed and Freako. Say hello, gentlemen.
Well, how we doing, everyone? This is going to be a pretty interesting finale. It's pretty much a run back from not too long ago, actually. So I'm pretty sure Charlieboy is looking forward to probably run it back on Casual Tom. So we're looking quite forward to this.
Yeah, this was a matchup that was in the semifinal of the winner's bracket. Casual Tom defeating Charlieboy 2-0 to move into the winner's finals. Charlieboy being banished to the Shadow Realm, so to say, but he emerged through the loser's bracket, and here we are in Grand Finals. Charlieboy with a chance to run it back against Casual Tom.
Best 3 of 5. We are here. We're going to be sitting through the entire thing with you guys. And behind the curtain, pressing all the buttons for all the races, is 2% Chungus. So, Freako or Creed, let the fans know, what are we about to walk ourselves into?
Oh, for the main brackets, we have our opponents actually choose settings from a variety of categories in inbuilt randomizer settings, and Casual Tom is our player 1, so he gets first pick. So for this particular race, for match 1, we're gonna have ourselves Burst Chaser. It's gonna be zipless. Stages are revealed, and it's gonna be all on normal mode.
Oh yeah!
Alright, the Burst Chaser was not much of a surprise. I think we'll see that come back in Game 3, unless Charlieboy may use a veto on it. I know there are vetoes still floating around, so we may see them come up finally. Casual Tom has been using Burst Chaser to great success, not losing a single game in which he has picked it. We still have the tiebreaker format waiting in Game 5 if we happen to get to it, but Casual Tom will probably have a very decided advantage in Game 1 and Game 3 where he gets to pick the parameters.
Not to mention, to be very honest,
Well, it looks like we're off.
Tom
and here
hasn't
we
lost
go.
hasn't dropped a single any races so far. Yeah, we're off, and we're in slideshow mode. So Charlieboy is going into quick, and Casual Tom is also joining. So expect it to be fast, expect it to be hurting, and expect it to be traditional. So.
Yeah, Casual Tom had a little bit of a controller issue for a brief moment, but he's pretty much back on it now. Both of them starting with Quick Man stage, where stage is basically revealed. You pretty much have a set starting point where you go in a Robot Master routing. So of course, you're probably going to see the usuals. You're probably going to see Flash and Quick going up first. You're probably going to see Bubble Man or Metal Man next up. Of course, that's going to be dependent on the items. Items are randomized between the 8 robots in the randomizer, so the routing can change depending on how soon they get their items.
Well, here's the thing though, Creed. You forgot, it is zipless, so outside of the item 2 for Heatman, we're not going to see any skips. This is going to be very honest. And oh, fan fiends, you are being naughty with that Buster immunity.
Well, no, I don't quite agree with that. Even though, yes, item 2 can be, it's probably going to be one of the most important things in the zipless format, still having item 1 in your back pocket can save you quite a bit of time in some of the more vertical levels. I can still see that being a big boon, and at the very least, crash and be a pretty good safety for some situations, as we see Woodman in Quickman's room, pretty much a non-issue.
Ooh, interesting. Charlieboy actually taking the trip onto Metal Man.
Looks like he's valuing those E-tanks, so Charlieboy's gonna purposely take an L. Build up his E-tank... Build up his E-tank stock, take an L, and then probably find his way into another stage. This is a strategy kind of similar to what we saw, where it's a little bit of risk versus reward, a purposeful game over. We'll see if it works out, and Charlieboy's trying to figure out where he wants to go and settling on Bubble Man.
Uh-oh, time to guess what drinks we have. And orange soda for the start.
Nothing wrong with the basic drinks, but yeah, as you can see, Burst Chaser, since that's one of our main flags that we're doing here, pretty much just increased the overall speed of all the movement motions of Mega Man, and in Charlieboy's case, also Proto Man. Oh,
Charlie Boy.
Uh-oh. This is Zipless.
Stop him.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Done
boy.
It again. He has done it
Yeah,
again.
this isn't Buster only. This is Burst Chaser.
the guy cannot help himself.
He has done it again.
I don't think we need to appeal to our resident rules lawyer, Creed. That's a disqualification for Charlieboy in Game 1. Yeah?
Ooh.
I think we can make that official, that we're at the point where Casual Tom just has to finish the seed.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is, but it just seems like whenever this happens, it always just seems to trip up someone. It always seems to do that.
Seed confusion is a thing. You get Burst Chaser, Buster only. There's so many parameters that are similar, and you gotta remember that Charlieboy made a mistake in Burst Chaser the match before, where it was a Buster only match. And again, Charlieboy did not pick the parameter, but he forgot what was picked and disqualified himself in the first game against Siberian Bull by using item 2 when it's Burst... I was going to say Burst Chaser, and it's Buster only.
Okay, since there's confusion in the chat, we need to get this out of the way right now, because we do have a set of rules for possible penalties for any kind of available zip that usually occurs in a zipless race. Whenever there's a zip that's either very long or is either avoidable, can be easily avoidable, just like the pause buffer bubbles that they just seen, those are usually disqualifications, unfortunately, because those could be easily avoided, and they do skip quite a large portion of the stage. And for Burst Chaser, that pretty much bypasses a lot of the spike ceiling areas. And there are several areas that are quite similar, such as Good Wood. So those kinds of major zips are usually grounds for disqualifications. Shorter zips are usually more grounds for small time penalties. So unfortunately for Charlieboy, it was the case for him where he did one of the largest zips that can be easily avoided. So it's just an unfortunate situation that Charlieboy once again just seems to forgive the rule set that it was in.
Charlieboy has actually reset himself back to
the beginning,
so to say. So he's basically taken 6 minutes and tossed it to the wind, choosing to restart the game from scratch, which that's a pretty significant penalty. in and of itself. He's put himself 6 minutes behind. So,
yeah, and this is Burst Chaser too, so...
this may be an interesting workaround to potentially having the time still stand. We'll have to look at the fine print, but
well, there's
I
usually
really don't think Charlieboy's got a shot at this point, giving 6 minutes to Casual Tom.
Well, there usually isn't any fine print for something like this, because we usually had it set in stone that if you do a zip like that, is usually grounds for disqualification. But Charlieboy willingly put himself out there to completely reset his situation because of the rules that we set. So for this case, he already knew that it's basically over at this point. So I think we can probably just let the reset stand. But if there's some reason if he winds up coming back, I don't see it in this case. Obviously, we can still call it a Casual Tom win because he still did a rules infraction.
Well, if the rules are the rules, if it was decided that an intentional zip is a disqualification, then resetting himself really isn't going to change that.
It's not going to really change much in the... Oh, wow. That item 1 is disgustingly stopped.
Well, without zips, it's not as important. But item 1, as you said... Oh, Charlieboy eating mine and not tasting good. But back to Casual Tom, the item 1 just accelerating the ascent into the elevators and crash climb.
True. But being that this is Burst Chaser, item 3 is not as valued because of how fast you're climbing.
That is very true. We're not going to see any items in... Well, Casual Tom doesn't really have much to work with. But with the increased speed of the climbing, there's really no issue with using item 3 to boost yourself upward. And now we're seeing that item 1 getting applied, trying to avoid getting bodied by Fan Fiends, which do a pretty decent amount of damage.
Yep. So it is what it is at this point. And Crashman is free. As much as I hate to say it, Crashman is free. So, yeah.
While we're having... Excuse me for interrupting, but since we're still having a little questions in chat, since this is Grand Finals, this is best of 5, first to 3 games. The first to get 3 games wins. And once again, to update on what's going on, unfortunately we had a rules infraction. Our players have chose specific flags that's in settings for the race, and one of them was zipless. Charlieboy unfortunately did a zip in Bubble Man stage, which is one of the major zips that's usually ground for disqualification, since it's one of the easy avoidable ones that you got to actually have to do on purpose in order to get, or something that usually gives a majority of a stage. That what Charlieboy unfortunately had to do. So for right now, Casual Tom has to finish his race in order for his win to be valid, just like most other races of this type. So unless Casual Tom just decides to just up and quit the match, he pretty much has a free game on his plate. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's currently the rules that we have set in place.
To be honest, it's not the first time that Charlieboy has forgotten the rule sets, especially of his opponents. So,
oh yeah, as I stated before, in the losers final match a few days ago, actually it was last week around this time.
Yep.
In game 1, Charlieboy used an item in a Buster only parametered seed, which was a rules infraction, and unfortunately, because he used item 2 to skip the Yoku block section, that resulted in his time being thrown out. So Siberian Bull winning that first game if only by technicality, the rules, well, they exist for a reason.
The funny thing was this: even if Charlieboy didn't take that zip, he might have just outright won that 1-2-0. So, yeah, shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah, there was a pretty significant time difference between Siberian Bull and Charlieboy in that first game. Charlieboy did finish first, but unfortunately, with his time thrown out, it doesn't count. So.
Well, Skird, one thing we're gonna mention in particular, Casual Tom does have a pretty good handle on zips and various other things as well. So Charlieboy, the next couple races, knowing that Burst Chaser is gonna be in the back of his mind, at least for Game 3, he's either gonna take it back to basics, which that's what I would do, or I would say he might have to do something daring, like maybe go hidden. Because, well, hold on. Any you want to add on to that?
I'm probably
I
gonna
was
say it's kind of a thing that at this point it could be gonna be running on Charlieboy's head for a little bit. It could be a case that Tom could wind up using this as a little bit of mind games on Charlieboy. Just wind up switching unusual settings. And almost this scene of Charlieboy flinches yet again. It's since we've seen it happen multiple times on Charlieboy's end, it's probably going to be in Charlieboy's head not to make these kinds of unforced errors. It's something to think about as the match progresses. It's still only one game out of a potential 5 games. Charlieboy can come back for this, but it could be like a combination of nerves, because this is the big one. So, yeah, it could be
definitely the one you want to win if you're Charlieboy or Casual Tom. There's no more matches after this when it comes to the 2021 Randomizer tournament for Mega Man 2. I mean, this is the grand finals, so it is best of 5. But I don't want to give away a game for free to my opponent under any circumstances.
That is good. That is a very good point. Quick break in the action. Hello, SpeedGaming 2 with a rate of 162. Welcome to the party. We have chips and drinks in the back.
So for those that are just joining us from SpeedGaming 2, we have Mega Man 2 Randomizer, and Casual Tom in Game 1 of this best of 5 match has picked Burst Chaser as one of the parameters for this particular seed. Charlieboy has made a mistake and is why he's a couple stages behind. His time, I believe, has been disqualified. However, he is still running through in an attempt to give us a show, so to say.
I suppose that.
Yeah, that'll probably be pretty much it. Just going through the motions of completing or at least getting as far as the seed as you can before just letting the race run its course.
Funny thing, Casual Tom actually just straight up just did the Yokus with Burst Chaser, not remembering he did have item 2, and that is allowed.
It almost feels like it went faster, to be honest. He paused a couple times, sure, but not a big deal, I don't think. Casual Tom just showing us that he can do the Yokus without the item 2, and that, that's got to be a confidence boost for Casual Tom. He's, for all intents and purposes, already won the first game. So if Casual Tom can break serve in either Game 2 or Game 4, it's really on Charlieboy to, hold serve in Game 2 and 4, where Charlieboy's picking the parameters, as Casual Tom, 16.5 minutes in, is already up against our best eyebrows in gaming.
Oh yeah, but unfortunately I can't be spirited enough because this is not technically a race, so here's Wiley. We have a dragon, we have colors, we have weapons. In your chat, go and guess them. So,
We'll have to be blunt about it, but I guess we're gonna go ahead and start picking colors. I'll go ahead and start doing the honors. So we're gonna have. So for my pick, we're gonna have ourselves a pretty traditional green-looking dragon, and for that, we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna have Metal Blade as a weakness.
All right, Simster, get in there.
oh, you want me to get in there?
Yeah, get in there.
You know my game one. You know my game one. Sunburst, and I want them to pay. I want him to pay. Give me some crash. Give me some crash. I love it.
All right, I have a little bit of time here to explain for those that don't know. We have a dragon at the end of this first Dr. Wily stage. It will have a randomized color palette as well as 2 randomized weaknesses. Our objective, should we choose to accept it, is to pick a purple dragon with the bubble lead as the weakness.
Oh, clever.
We'll be mostly green dragon.
That's a kind of green dragon.
That is kind of green. No thanks.
It has shades of green on its body, but I want the main focus of the body, and that is the Buster weakness.
Yeah, that's a Buster weakness. So, Casual Tom is making his way over to Wily 2 in Pico Pico.
Alright, looks like Charlieboy putting in a little practice on the Yoku blocks section. So,
Ooh, are we looking at is he practicing for a possible Buster only seed coming up?
maybe that was actually something that crossed my mind. Since Charlieboy kind of oopsied away game 1, do you kind of go and say, alright, what is the most whacked out thing I can throw at Casual Tom to try to throw him off and kind of steal back a game and tie things up at 1-1?
Buster only with hidden? That would be interesting.
That's pretty much exactly what I would be thinking if I were in Charlieboy's shoes at this point. Casual Tom. A little too generous with the movement there and eating Spike. Not something that should be in Mega Man's regular diet.
Oh. And it's not the first time Tom has had a little bit of a slip up here in Wily 2. There was the one time that he went too much to the left and not get enough to the right, and we was trying to figure out how he died. But yeah, that was the thing.
With the Burst Chaser movements, just a little jink to the left or right can make things very unfortunate. This section that Casual Tom was in with the drops to the Yoku blocks, plus the Wily 3 spike sections, become that much more perilous.
Freako, quick question. What system is Wily running this time? Because this is the second consecutive boss that has been on the Windows ME system with this Buster only.
Wow. Yeah, this looks like... I'm kind of hoping that Wily's put some work in here on his own machine and just said, alright, all the hand-me-downs, get them out of here. Throw them in Wily 1, Wily 2, just get them out of here. Scrap these things. So, I'm kind of hoping for a rough little boss here. Now...
Filtration system? We have Earl Grey tea. Hey, Wily. Tea time was...
Casual Tom eating it again on the... You know what I said about the Wily 3 spike sections being a little more perilous?
Yes.
Well, that was Exhibit A by Casual Tom.
And mind you...
Yeah, this is where...
Exhibit B for the prosecution, and unfortunately a game over for Casual Tom.
Yeah, this is where Burst Chaser recklessness pretty much just kind of overwhelms you because naturally you got Burst Chaser active. You want to go fast. And with that kind of sense of speed, there's a little bit of recklessness that goes into trying to keep that pace going. Casual Tom kind of feeling it right now. And it gets worse here because during these spike drops, you got to remember we are using the version 0.6 when our water is completely lagless. Of course, you see Casual Tom not having any trouble with it, but with lagless water and burst chaser speed, that drop is much more treacherous than anything you would get in the vanilla game. But as we can see, Casual Tom taking it like a champion, already at Guts Tank.
Oh, welcome to the dozer. Yeah, somebody said it was looking more like grease, and again, Frico.
3 for 3. Wow.
3 for 3. It looks like Wiley has literally worked off an ME for this castle.
Yeah, this is getting into like DOS 6.2 territory. Wow. Now, one thing I want to point out here, although it is to be taken with a grain of salt, ever since Charlieboy restarted, he put in about a 14-minute 8 Robot Masters. So, if he were to have done that straight out of the chute, he would have about a 2-minute advantage over Casual Tom, plus the mistakes that Casual Tom made in Wily 3. So, maybe all is not lost for Charlieboy here.
Charlieboy is going and putting in the recklessness. Throw caution to the wind. He is like a man on a mission right now, or a bat out of Hades.
Well, hopefully he can definitely put that aggression and put that towards game 2, because right now it's still going to be Casual Tom's game. He can use this as a kind of a morale booster and try to get himself back in the game for game 2. Because right now, as you can see, Charlieboy is he's kind of moving all out at this point. In spite of the shenanigans that kind of happened early on in the match.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why I wanted to point it out, because Charlieboy, throw the 6 minutes out, he's at 18 minutes, a little bit more, and he's into Wily 3. Whereas we were at about 21 minutes for Casual Tom. So, yeah, I mean, that's significant.
Yeah, we got a God Wood, but Casual Tom having a little bit of difficulties getting the first 2, but this should be open shut case.
Yeah, you gotta remember that we are still playing on normal mode, so the amount of damage that is needed for a specific weakness or anything else, it's gonna be doubled. So you're gonna take a larger numbers of leaf shields or any such weaknesses to destroy bosses. But fortunately, in this case, you can pretty much just use leaf shield just standing and not worry about wasting too much ammo. One of the reasons why it's such a good weakness for a good majority of bosses.
Indeed it is. So, here we go. Can we get a dream? Wily running on Linux rather than Windows again? Can we get the dream?
Well, at least the Boo Beam turrets were not Buster, so that might be our Windows 95 upgrade. And then we'll have to see what Dr. Wily's got in store for us when we get to the machine, and I think 5.5 more boss refights for Casual Tom.
I'm just gonna leave y'all two with the computer references. Right now, I'm not completely 100% keen on my OSs, so you can go ahead and just have those jokes.
You know, us old people that grew up with, DOS and, before Windows was its own standalone operating system. No, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm getting up in age too, but it's not like we go ahead and make an effort to try to remember each and every computer setting.
Well, Windows is pretty simple. It's Windows 95, then Windows 98, then Windows Me, and then Windows 2000.
Windows NT.
Forgot about NT. Yeah, I nearly forgot about NT.
Got a good 2 commentators we been lazy, everyone.
Oh no, Charlieboy missing the wraparound and gonna have to redo the anxiety rooms. Taking the L in room 4 of all places.
That was that was room 3, I think. I
No, that was room 4. He missed the little platform on the pause buffer.
Whoa! The free room. The free room.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the free room at the end. He ate it right there, and yeah, he made it through this 3rd room, no problem whatsoever. And fell straight down off of the ledge instead of, hooking himself around. Just a little snafu from Charlieboy, but aside from that, unfortunately, he will not be able to win Game 1. But he's putting in a pretty solid effort to make me, as a casual observer, go, alright, maybe Charlieboy's got a shot in Game 2, Game 3, because we're almost certain to have a run back of Burst Chaser, and Casual Tom's looking a little, vulnerable.
The armor is chinking a tad, but with this machine though, yeah, it's still on Windows, so sadly the dream is dead for this seed.
Yeah, no real super challenge mode Wily machine. I'd love to see a Buster Immune normal mode Wily machine. I think that will be a real nightmare for our runners if that is to come to pass somewhere in this match.
Yeah, but we had that happen Game 2 last week though. The machine did get its upgrade. So we did get a Linux machine. And it was quite the doozy. It was Crash Bomb, I believe. But don't quote me on that.
So yeah, we got Casual Tom just finishing off Victory Road. About to see our alien fight. Hopefully it's not another Buster Week alien. It shouldn't be. And it is not.
Unfortunately though, it's taking some. It's afraid of some wind, air. Get your GGs in chat. Game 1 done.
Yep, with an official race time.gg time of 29:18. A pretty solid time for this kind of settings.
Yeah, pretty swift.
I would kind of expect 27 minutes or so. Maybe if Casual Tom cleaned up his act a little bit, I think 25, 26 might be possible. Maybe I'm, being a little pessimistic on that. Casual Tom did know he had the game won, as did Charlieboy when he made his mistake, as the instant reset comes through once Charlieboy sees that Casual Tom finished.
Yep. So we are now getting ready to set up Game 2. So, right now, for ladies and gentlemen, Game 1 is in the books, and we have a Charlieboy down 1-0 going into the Game 2. So, guesses in chat, while we're waiting, how many games do you think we're going to go in this time? Are we going to take, is it going to be a 3-game quitter, a 3 and you quit? Or are we going to get a Game 4? Or are we going to go the distance and pull a half-nighter on Game 5? And also put your predictions on who's going to win. Vote now on your phones.
Yeah, or your keyboards for those of you that have them available. Don't want to discriminate against anybody using a phone, a keyboard, whatever you so desire.
That is true. Oh. Oh, Charlie boy.
Uh-oh. Looks like Sinister might know something, and would you care to share with the rest of the class what you've learned?
Round 2. Back to basics. Back to basics. We're going back to basics. And he revealed, everything goes.
Alright, so we have Zips. So we're going pretty much, yeah.
Yep, back to basics.
So any percent means that Zips are available, revealed. We'll see where the bosses are. And that's really about all we need to know. So there's going to be a much bigger significance to finding an item 1 or an item 2 to potentially open up the zips that are available in various points of these stages. Even item 3 will be useful in some spots.
Yeah. So, one thing I will say is Casual Tom is going against Mr. Execution himself, Charlieboy. Charlieboy pulls off some of the weirdest and most obtuse skips that you can ever see. So if Casual Tom is going to try to win game 2, he's going to have to match or surpass Charlieboy's knowledge of skips and various other things.
Yeah, this is probably going to be mostly in Charlieboy's element, because Charlieboy, as mentioned before, he definitely goes for as many zips as possible. So if this would be a good chance for Charlieboy to come back, especially since that snafu in the first game, he's just really used to doing each and every zip possible. So give him a category that gives him free reign to do each and any zip that he's capable of doing, depending on what the randomizer throws at him, and just use all that to his advantage. So right now, I'm saying unless the seed decides to give Charlieboy another rough go at it, the ball is in his court for this particular match.
Yeah, it's literally back to basics. So, oh boy, this is gonna be interesting.
And this is why the runners get to pick the parameters for the first 4 games. Casual Tom having the advantage of being the winner's bracket side was able to choose in game 1 and will be able to choose again in game 3. If Casual Tom somehow breaks serve, so to say, and steals this game away from Charlieboy,
oh boy,
we could be in for a quick 3-0 night.
That is true. If Casual Tom manages to pull the impossible, well, not the impossible, but pull an improbable and actually steal one from Charlieboy, which means one of 2 things: Charlieboy got soft locked or Charlieboy got bodied. This could be a very early night. We could be looking at sub-midnight. We'd be all getting ready for interviews and drinking champagne, getting ready for the fireworks of Memorial Day, and taking our behinds to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. Now, on the inverse, if Charlieboy wins this game and he holds serve, I truly think that, we can buckle up because we're going all 5. Casual Tom will hold serve game 3. Charlieboy will be with his back up against the wall, hopefully able to hold serve again in game 4, and we'll see the tiebreaker format rearing its ugly head once more to potentially decide the Mega Man 2 Randomizer Tournament champion.
And here's the funny thing, too. We had a bunch of 2-0 stompings all up until winners finals, I believe, and now we're getting everything in a mother going the distance.
There were a couple matches that went 3 games. Now I'm going to have to look at the bracket and check my cheat sheet to make sure which ones were which. I know Casual Tom has not dropped a game so far.
This is gonna be interesting. If Casual Tom wins in 3, he will be the first champion that has went flawless. No losses whatsoever.
But yeah, to confirm about the number of 2-0 installments compared to the ones that went for the best of the full 3 matches, there were 6 matches in the tournament, in at least for the qualifiers, that have went distance. So it's actually been a little more common than you actually might have thought.
Well, Treble Star has involved himself in 4 of the 6 matches that were 2-1s. Just a little side stat, Treble Star versus Chungus, Treble emerges victorious 2-1. Losing 2-1 to Siberian Bull, Casual Tom defeating Siberian Bull to find himself in the finals. Treble Star moving down to the losers bracket, and we see a 2-1 victory over Kamasenin. Charlieboy going to 3 games against Chungus. Treble and Charlie in the losers final. Or excuse me, not the losers final. The match leading into the losers final went 3 games, as did Siberian Bull and Charlieboy. So, some closer matches occurring once you get through that first round of the bracket. A lot of the games at that point forward going all 3.
Unless you're Casual Tom, then you just basically hold every 2-0 up at that point.
Well, there are exceptions to every rule.
If these parts are what I'm thinking they put in, I hate the both of them.